Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Symbio with T3 Gaming. I have another Star Wars Destiny video for you today. Today, we're going to talk about a different format of draft that we tried with this game called that I like to call progressive draft. And if you don't know how to draft Star Wars Destiny, you might want to go watch another video. I'll put a link in the comments below of a video we did on standard drafting. But we changed it up a little bit because I felt like the regular way that Star Wars Destiny is drafted is not as good as I think this format, which allows you to, this format allows you to pick your characters and draft them first, and then pick and draft your upgrades or dice cards, and then draft the rest of your events and non-dice cards. And the reason I feel works better is because in Star Wars Destiny, the characters are such a crucial part of your deck that not knowing what you're playing or having to make that kind of call in the middle of your drafting process is very difficult for new players, and I think it also is difficult for even experienced players. So you end up with characters that you won't use, or other people will end up with no characters from the set, and I just think this way allows you a more balanced approach to the game. Now, the difference is that in this format, you are not going to be drafting out of the packs you open. So in our case, we did 6 players for 36 boosters of Way of the Force. So that works out very perfectly. You would essentially designate one person to open up all of the packs, or if everybody's fine with opening the packs and not drafting out of those packs because they're going to get shuffled, then everybody can open them and participate. You would put all of the dice in the center, separate all the characters out, and put those in one stack, and then the non-character rare cards with other dice would also get separated out into their stack, and then the rest of the events and supports and non-dice cards would get into their stack. So there would be 3 stacks of cards. And so essentially, that's why we call it a progressive draft, because you're going to be progressively drafting through those 3 types of cards. So you're going to start with characters, then you're going to do upgrades and dice cards, and then you're going to do the rest. And I will explain that process as we go through it. So here are the cards that I got dealt. I got an Ezra Bridger, a Jabba, and a Count Dooku. Now, Ezra Bridger to me is like the obvious choice just because he's 8 points. He does bring blue, and he's actually kind of in some ways better than Anakin. He doesn't have as much health, but he's still pretty good. Okay, so here's my other my second pick, either a 5th brother and Jedi Sentinel. So basically I'm getting a lot of blue here. I go ahead and take Jedi Sentinel, who I do think is better than Anakin because he's got that special side that will do 2 damage no matter what. And now for my last card for character, I got Sebulba. So you can see it's very simple here. You're going to get characters very quickly, so you're not waiting to the last minute to get a character that you may not be able to use, which is really annoying in draft when you pull this great character and you weren't planning on using him. Now you have to figure out how to use him. Some people think that maybe there's a challenge in that. I think it's just kind of makes it more frustrating. So I like knowing now I have Sebulba. I could play all 3, and actually I was thinking that I think at this point, yeah. So I went ahead and decided to play Ketsu. It was even though Sebulba is okay. Looking back now, I probably could have picked Sebulba and played a 3-cost plot because Sebulba I think is 8, Ezra is 8, and Sentinel is 10. So, you know, I think Sebulba is 8. He might be 9. So, but either way, I think I could have played a 3-cost plot if I stuck with that team. And I think that's actually a very good pairing of characters there, even though it's only blue and yellow. So here we are getting all of the rare cards given to us, and now we are getting 3 rare cards each. And I thought it was interesting if this booster basically had 18 exactly characters and 18 exact upgrades and other dice cards. And I don't know if that's normal, but that works out perfectly for this draft format. So here I get Plo Koon's Count Dooku Solar Sailor, which is, it's okay. It's expensive. It's got a lot of focus, but I really like the Formidable. And the Formidable is at least has some damage sides. It's a little less expensive, and it has some shields. So now I'm getting 2 red cards, which are kind of useless because I'm not going to play red. I'm not a big fan of Lobot in the Rivals draft kit. I did get given a Mandalorian Van Braces. Mandalorian Van Braces is great. 1 cost. It does bring damage. It will always give you something because it has no blanks on it. So here are all of my upgrades. I got a Formidable, an Arc 170, a Mandalorian Van Braces, and then I got 3 characters. So good in that I didn't get stuck with something that was really unusable, except for that maybe that Arc 170. What was really interesting is that in this booster box, we got 18 characters and 18 other dice cards. So it was as if it was made perfectly for this type of draft format. Now, I don't know if that's the case with other booster boxes because I haven't counted. So please let me know in the comments, is this normal to have an exact number of 18 characters and 18 other dice cards? Because if that's the case, it works out perfectly. If it is not the case, then sometimes you're going to get more or less. Then in the description, you'll find how you handle that. You will essentially just be still dealing out an even number of cards, like characters, and then you will get then those other character cards. The extras will go into the upgrade cards, and they will be drafted with the upgrades. So, and then so on and so forth. So anyway, here I go. I'm drafting the non-rare cards, and we're only going to do 12 just because I don't want this video to be too long. I've already decided to go with Jedi Sentinel, Ezra Bridger, and Ketsu. So it's 29 points. I did not go with a plot, although I think I should have probably gone with Sebulba and gone with a plot. And I think that would have been a stronger deck. But you can see now, you know what characters you're playing. I'm drafting my non-dice cards, so I know I want blue. I got a lot of great blue to choose from here. Pacify, of course, is a really good card to get 2 shields and remove a die, remove a character die. It could be mine, so that I can get a bunch of shields on Sentinel, so I can get that special to go off. The special says deal 2 damage to a character, or if this character has 3 shields, 3 or more shields, you can do 3 damage to a character. So Jedi Sentinel, you definitely want to get shields on him. Ezra Bridger has a great power action that if he has 2 or more upgrades, he can draw a card, and if he has 3 upgrades, he can draw 2 cards. So it allows you to get that draw engine going, or to discard and reroll, which you like to do in draft quite a bit. Ketsu Onyo, of course, she makes it so that if she has any weapons on her when she that's right, before one of your characters are defeated, you may move a weapon from that character to Ketsu. So that's why I think a lot of people go for Ketsu first. So anyway, as I'm going through these, I can see there are some red cards that are, okay, but there's definitely a lot of yellow and blue for me to choose from. I think I go ahead and take the Friend or Foe, which is kind of a 0 cost sort of, makes it a reroll card, so it allows you to reroll a die, and if it hits damage on that character, then they take 1 damage. Otherwise, it gives them a shield. So, but it's only a 0 cost. And then there's also Righteous Cause, which basically allows you to move damage, so split up your damage and give you ambush. So especially with 3 character lists, that is fairly good. But I go ahead and take the Friend or Foe, because I think it's more likely to mess up somebody else's plans. So we got a Prize Goods, which allows you to make money, but it exhausts one of your characters. It's a little slow, but it can be good in draft, especially if you have some expensive vehicles or upgrades. Shootout is one of those cards which I saw a bunch, which I didn't take. It turns all of your dice to damage and another opponent's dice to damage. So if you're going to kill them, it makes a lot of sense, or if you have some way of getting ambush off of it. But otherwise, it could hurt you too. So, but you can also turn them to a bunch of modifiers, and it's any number of dice. So you can turn 2 of your dice to solid damage and 2 of theirs to modified. But it is 3 costs, and I don't feel like in draft you're usually making that much money unless you get some special money cards. So, so here we are. Basically, you're drafting to your characters to the left, then you're drafting your upgrades to the right, and then you're going to draft your first 12 non-dice cards to the left, and then the last 12 to your right. So just to try to keep it a little more fair and even. Way of the Force is a useless card in draft, because unless you drew an elite character that you're not going to play, you can't really use it. There's a lot of mill cards in Way of the Force, I noticed, and so and you could of course use mill cards just to disrupt your opponent, and that can be useful sometimes. But other times it's like I'm looking more for mitigation cards or things that turn my dice of damage. In the Crosshairs is a blowout card. You basically pick a symbol, but it's 3 cost. It does have ambush. You pick a symbol and they have to remove all of that symbol. It's probably, one of the most powerful cards in this set for removal. I think I go ahead and take a No Escape, which does 2 damage to your opponent if they have no cards in hand. And in draft, I feel like, I guess I take the end of the Crosshairs. So But that other card's actually not bad too. I can't play any red, but this is an example of where if I was drafting normally, I might be drafting rainbow no matter what, even though I'm not sure if I'm playing rainbow. So in this case now, it's more efficient because I know I'm not playing red. So I'm only drafting the cards that I know, because at this point, you may not even have another character in the standard draft. So I just feel like the progressive draft is much better at building a decent deck. So it looks like I'm going to get some other, let's see, I got some more blue and yellow cards there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I would love for other people to give this a try. I know everybody's sort of sick of Way of the Force now because it's been out for a while and everybody either has the whole set. But if you're a newer player and you want to get started, try to get a group of friends and try this format, because it does give you a way of getting the cards that you want. Now, in our situation, we actually did keep what we drafted. So if you were dealt a card and you really wanted that, character, you kept it, even if you, didn't think maybe it was great to play. You could also do a snake draft in this format where at the end, based on who wins, you divvy out the prizes. So I got this awesome Loth, Wolf, and Bond, and I also got Guardian of the Wills, which allows you to move it every turn. It's an action. If you move it to a blue character, it gives them a shield. And so throughout 4 or 5 turns, that's 4 or 5 shields. I felt like that was better bang for the buck than Loth, Wolf, and Bond, which in general allows you to activate 2 blue characters which I had, give you 2 shields, and then activate them. So it definitely is more action efficient. But I just thought Guardian of the Wills was more interesting and fun because it never sees play. So I went ahead and took that, because that would allow me to kind of stack shields on Jedi Sentinel and put the upgrade on Ezra and kind of draw a card and then move it over to Sentinel and give him a shield. So a bunch of red cards now that I don't use. I'm a little worried now that everybody's not drafting red. It turns out there were a couple people drafting red. It just happened to be a bunch of red in that stack. I took Under Attack, which again allows you to, it's a mitigation card. It allows you to remove any number of dice showing damage and then deal that much indirect damage to yourself. So it just essentially splits up the damage so they can't focus fire on opponent. So some more red cards that I'm not going to use, but there is a yellow in there. So, again, like, I think I only ended up with 1 red card or 2 red cards out of the whole draft, which was pretty amazing. And I still was able to build a 30 card deck, if not. I think I had extra cards left over, like 35 or 36. There were 2 people who said they only got to 27 cards, which I thought was a little strange because, so I don't know whether, because I think because they were playing 2 colors, but I think they just, in draft, you're always going to have some wasted cards. We know that happens. You're going to have some cards that you use to reroll. So, but we had a lot of fun. I definitely think, next time a new set comes out, like Across the Galaxy is coming out in November, we're going to try this format for draft. I'm not sure if the one thing that I did hear people were upset a little bit, or at least scared of, is that they were scared that if they had a pack that had a legendary and it got put into the pool and divvied out, somebody could get 3 legendaries. But the same could be said with any draft, right? If you open up a pack, you could have 3 legendaries, and then those will have to get drafted or passed along. So to me, it's the same odds, essentially. Whether it gets drafted or opened in a pack or gets dealt to you, it shouldn't matter. So anyway, that is it. We're going to stop it right here. I'm not going to show you the other 12, but we do have 3 games for you to watch. So hopefully you'll have fun watching those, and let us know what you think of this format in the comments. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching T3. I really appreciate all of the positive comments and all of the feedback. I'm really, really happy, truly, that everybody is enjoying the channel. It's definitely an effort of our whole community here in Chico, and we appreciate all the great comments and support. All right, see you next time.